Breathing is one, if not the most vital function in our physiology. We breathe to live, and we breathe and smell until the last moments of our life. The lungs are our organs of breath. They are positioned on either side of the heart, we know that. They make us breathe in air and space and breathe out carbon dioxide and our constrictions. They also make us share the loving breath of our Mother Earth and its inhabitants. It is only by breathing and with our free will to change our breathing rhythm or even stop breathing for a moment that we have such a powerful means to influence psychophysiologically our thoughts, our emotions, and our heart, and even our whole system, and this in no time. Conscious breathing is an incredible gift of Mother Nature. Here's a quote: "Deep breathing is one of the most surefire ways to reduce your stress symptoms, especially if you need a quick fix at your desk or at work. When you feel you need a way to focus in the midst of stressful situations, concentrating on your breath can help you to escape for a little while and ease tensions throughout your whole body." The practice of deep breathing also has positive effects on heart health, making it an excellent way to prevent heart disease. Several studies have shown deep diaphragmatic breathing can slow your heart rate and reduce blood pressure. This kind of breathing stimulates the vagus nerves, which reduces the fight or flight response that causes feelings of anxiety or tension. This gives you a chance to manage those feelings and your stress levels, allowing you to calm yourself down easily in just a few moments. End of quote. There is a magical connection between our heart, our breathing, and our internal well-being. Research shows changing your breathing stimulates brain growth, improves heart rate variability, lowers stress levels, alleviates anxiety and negative emotions, lowers blood pressure, and triggers physiological state of deep relaxation. Breathing in natural volatile fragrances in form of essential oils is a beautiful way to open our heart to others, to nature, to spirit in ourselves, to the universe. And breathing or inhaling with the help of essential oils can open up our mind and give wings to our soul. There is a deep connection between the pulsations of our heart, the rhythm of our breath, and our thoughts and emotions. Feeling well also means we are in tune with our rhythmic system. Feeling well means we nourish our heart and breath with harmonious thinking, leaving aside the temptations to get stuck in the stress and strain of our outer and inner worlds. Heart and lungs are meant to work together, therefore, so that the blood has enough oxygen for body to function properly. And the brain chemistry in this? Brain chemicals called neurotransmitters, chemicals created by our nerves, as well as the limbic system with the amygdala, the pituitary gland, etc., are definitely involved in all our psycho-emotional reactions. Very important is the amygdala, the body's anxiety switch, nestled deep inside our limbic system in the brain from where the control of memory and emotions takes place. It is the central place for triggering our fight and flight responses in case of danger. Here a quote: "Sometimes, however, the amygdala can fire off when there is no real danger here and now, as it is acting on a memory of a past traumatic event, for example, in case of PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorders, triggered by something in the immediate environment, a sound, a smell, sight, or other sense. Our bodies are then flooded with adrenaline, and we are needlessly prepared to react. Unused adrenaline can build up and cause stress and anxiety symptoms if not repelled." Here an experience with helichrysum of one of my students. Here quote, "I wanted to write you a note of infinite thanks. Remember all that talking we did about post-traumatic stress disorder and helicrism? One of the drawbacks of being psychically sensitive and having PTSD is that no action in the physical world is required to precipitate a PTSD incident for me. Just being around violent thoughts or things that have been touched when someone is thinking violent thoughts can have this effect on me. I had such an incident last week, and it was an intense one. It lasted for days, continuously intensifying. Even though I was conscious enough about it and tried to control my thoughts, I was failing, and failing utterly. Finally, days into the incident, I remembered our conversation and decided for the big guns and diffuse helicrism. It was perfect. For the next half hour, I could feel days of pent-up stress draining out of my body. With each extremely deep breath, the effects were incredibly dramatic. Soon after, I was able to get my spiritual perspective back and see the truth about the source of my stress, and then finally, the source of myself again. The whole renewal took about 45 minutes with incremental, noticeable improvements every moment. Quite miraculous, really." End of quote. As we see, an odor input of essential oils can do the trick. Research indeed has shown that essential oils contain a certain bioelectric frequency that, when inhaled, travels to the secondary neurons in the olfactory bulb, which sends impulses to the limbic system and the olfactory sensory center at the base of the brain. They then pass between the pituitary and pineal gland and move to the amygdala. Only in 1989 it was discovered that the amygdala plays a major role in storing and releasing emotional trauma, and that only odor has a profound effect in triggering a response from this gland. Yes, definitely, odor can help us not to turn on the panic machinery in our brain and rather spontaneously let go, not dramatize a certain stress impulse, a sudden upsurge of remembering the traumatic experience, or even enable us to let go of physical pain. So it's all about to know how to turn off our amygdala, particularly with the inner decision of our mind. The brain needs to relax, and reason as well as odor can help us for this tremendously. We have just to change the perspective of our situation right away, and everything changes. There is a hidden connection between the volatile molecules of essential oils and the space element and fragrance linked to the earth element. In fact, Ayurveda teaches us that earth is linked to the sense of smell. Volatility and fragrance, therefore, empower each other in terms of essential oils. They make us feel more vital, more energetic. And when we are stuck in obsessive thoughts and emotions, we need to get grounded on one side and opened up on the other side. Or as French scientist René Gattefossé, one of the founders of modern aromatherapy, expressed once, "Today, like in old times, we can call volatile substances vital substances. Volatility and fragrance are signals of considerable physiological activity and energy." Look at this experience here. I poured the hyssop oil in my hands, and much more poured out than I expected. I breathed very deeply several times from my cupped palms. In about 10 minutes, I felt my body being rocked from inside, as if I were knocking against the container of the body. Visually, the room jolted a bit. I sat down and relaxed a bit. About 20 minutes later, we drove back to our hotel, and within an hour of breathing in the hyssop, we were all in bed. When I lay down with my head on my partner's shoulder, at once the roof was gone off the room, and I was floating with the stars. I was out in the night sky, surrounded by the stars of the night. I could have explored this place and chose to just be with the incredible peace and soothing feeling that I experienced while floating amongst the stars. I opened my eyes and was immediately back in the room with the ceiling over my head and walls around. Closing my eyes again, I was in the open starry sky, surrounded by night skies full of stars and all around me. The feeling was comforting, and I was aware that I had no sense of hot or cold. It felt physically comfortable, mentally soothing, and very peaceful. There is this truly amazing connection between plants with their essential oils and human beings. Also, plants breathe. Their carbon dioxide and oxygen pulsations are the reverse of our human breathing rhythm. Plants need the carbon and the carbon dioxide of the air and the water and minerals, mainly from the soil, for building up their physical structures. And human beings do this through food, mainly from plants. Heart and lungs are the center of our rhythmic system. Our heartbeat and the respirational fluctuations are the most vital dynamics of Mercurius, as alchemy calls it, within our body. No wonder that in Ayurvedic understanding also, the heart chakra, called Anahata, is associated with the element of air, and air is linked to the sense of touch in Ayurveda. It is also connected with the planet Venus. It is the heart chakra which is considered to be the seat of our vital breath. Changes in our respirational system automatically have an influence on our heart rhythm and vice versa. Anahata, the Vedic name for the heart chakra means unbeaten. One can experience the heart stopping to beat, but one cannot beat the powerful loving energy of the heart. And the heart chakra is always depicted in green. And here another experience. That evening I trusted my intuition and chose jasmine, frankincense and palo santo. I mixed 4 drops of each one with 2 tablespoons of raw apple cider vinegar and 2 tablespoons of lime juice, both of which are natural cleansers. I immersed myself in the bath, took deep breaths, and let the oils work on me from inside out. The combined scent of the 3 oils was divine, and I could feel their healing powers gently embracing me. I slept beautifully that night, and the next morning my chest was clear and the cough was gone for good. We can say when our lungs breathe green with oxygen, all life in the body starts to breathe. The lungs enable us to connect the brain, the heart and the lower energy centers of our system. With conscious breathing and with intent, we can at any moment directly control or change the second most important rhythm in our system, our heartbeat. And thereby influence numerous other vital functions in our body. No wonder that with the element of air, or vayu in Ayurvedic terms, we can have, with the help of pranic breathing or by inhaling or smelling essential oils, an influence directly on our vata dosha, the major potential imbalance actor according to Ayurveda, reflecting in panic, anxieties and stress. In every leaf and in every essential oil from the leaves, the sun has taken shape and color, beautifully refined, magically transformed. Alchemy of the cosmos, spirit and light, to create the blue sky of the world and to give food and oxygen to our planet, thanks to this green breathing of plants through eternities. And not to forget, the essence of all essential oils is this connection with the sun, but also with the moon, the stars, and the astral constellations. Already the Greek philosopher Theophrastus of Erissos wrote, quote, "The best and the most fragrant of all curative elements comes from the sunny regions." End of quote. Plants with their oils drink sun like human beings. Without sun, there is no life. Not only that the solar light gives rise to the photosynthetic process, but its rhythmic appearance during the day and its disappearance during the night is interwoven into the polar structure of the universe. Breathing in, breathing out, reverse alternations of oxygen and carbon dioxide cycles, and alterations between the light of the sun and the light of moon and stars. Sunlight vibrates in every nerve, every fiber of life, memory of the first impulses of creation through eternities. And here another beautiful experience. That night I got home, and right before I went to bed I was feeling sad, and then the self-pity party started. I looked through my purchases and came across your lavender oil jar. I put on my night clothes and got into bed, opened the jar and did exactly as instructed by your staff. Deep breathing. Breathing in the scent 3 times slowly, etc. I was surprised how calm and soothing it made me feel. I slept like a baby that night. Now every night I open the jar and breathe it in and leave it open on my nightstand. Put the lid back on in the morning and I am off to work. It's become a nightly ritual that really helps me unwind and wake up feeling of being rested. This year, I used to have bloating in my abdomen before my cycle, along with cramping and other female symptoms. I now use 1 to 2 drops of pure, wonderful rose oil on my abdomen, starting 10 days before and up to my menstrual cycle. No more bloating. Even during the months of other symptoms, depression, melancholy, etc., also I apply it in circular motion on my heart, breathe it in and apply to my ankles. Some may think it's costly, but believe me, it is well worth more than gold. Give it a try. Or here, breathe into the oils of the heart. I started the session by asking her some questions, and then after about 10 minutes we began to focus on the area around her heart, so we could continue with heart breathing. But she could not focus on the area around her heart. We tried putting her hand over her heart, and that did not work. We tried visualizing, and did not work. And that is when I got out the rose essential oil. She smelled it first, and we did a patch test, diluted. Everything was fine. So I put 1 drop in her hand and told her to rub her hands together and then to inhale the fragrance for at least 15 seconds. She did it. After she was finished, I saw an instant change in her energy. Because rose oil is such a high-frequency oil, she literally raised her own frequency. Next, we started the process of heart focus, and this time she immediately did it. Once she was breathing through her heart, in and out, we were then able to add a heart moment to that process. She was opening up her heart chakra successfully. Not to forget also, oils from the conifer trees are powerful helpers for problems with the breathing system. Oils from this family purify the respiratory system and support the lungs to breathe freely again. The breathing of a person shows his present mental state. A feeling of harmony will free the breathing to flow smoothly, and essential oils from conifers deeply purify and ionize the air around us. For example, Tsuga canadensis, balsam fir. Here's a quote: "Balsam fir is breathing tonic and is useful for people suffering from asthma and other types of respiratory weaknesses. It also helps people sleep, adjust to new surroundings, including jet lag, relax, and fight disease. It is good for mental fixations. Many good results have been reported to help dying persons as it opens subtle doors. Applications use it pure on the feet or the 5th chakra, or in slow and delicate massage on feet and upper chest, 4 to 8 drops. Breathe it consciously and put a few drops on your solar plexus or your hands. If you are too tense to meditate, put a few drops on your hands and apply it on the adrenals in the middle of your back. It helps the circulation and the production of adrenaline. You will feel more energized and uplifted." Since 1982, the Japanese government has designated 48 official forest therapy trails to encourage citizens to spend more time amongst mainly conifer trees to bolster the health of the population. Shinrin-yoku is it called, the Japanese practice of forest bathing or forest breathing, harnesses the medical power of fragrance, especially from conifers, to stimulate our breathing and thereby our health. Japanese scientists needed quantifiable evidence of the health benefits of forest bathing and designed an experiment where 12 businessmen went on a 3-day hiking trip in the forest. Blood and urine samples were collected and tested on all the men before and after the trip. Their hormone levels, blood pressure, and levels of natural killer cells were tracked. Former theories on health benefits were confirmed. In all 12 men, blood pressure and cortisol levels dropped. And most noticeable, the man's natural killer cells increased by 40%. A month later, these cells were still elevated. Natural killer cells are a type of lymphocytes which are vital for immune health. They stealthily kill off stressed and infected cells and tumor-forming cells. If we look at the so-called signatures of the conifers, their intricate network of branches and needles can remind us somehow of the internal structure of our breathing organs, the lungs. Conifer and essential oils are indeed very good allies to help us with any issues we can have regarding the respiratory system, and have very good expectorant properties, helping the release of mucus. So then breathe deep and relax with oils like Siberian fir also, or Nordmont fir, silver fir, Sitka spruce from the conifer group. They all have quite a fresh lemony note that can create clarity in case of mental confusion and emotional stress. Breathe deep and relax. This is the motto of all the conifer oils together. They convey a sense of peace, reminding us of the quietness of a winter forest. Their character is that of patience and quietness, but with a vital, warm, and invigorating boost. Botanically, they do not immediately show signs of growth as trees, but in fact, they are growing slowly and steadily with perseverance, even through the storms and extreme temperatures they are often exposed to. And for children, good to know, quote, treating a child with essential oils and deep breathing techniques may help them relax and heal. How can essential oil help my child? Nurses and child life staff have 4 essential oils your child can smell: lavender, mandarin, spearmint, and peppermint. These can help your child if they are restless, irritable, or having trouble sleeping, mild pain, and stomach pain. The essential oils often work better with deep, focused breathing techniques. And here to conclude, a few essential oils recommended for breathing and lung problems, for example, asthma, clove, peppermint, and so on, lavender, eucalyptus, oregano, bronchitis, lavender, rosemary, eucalyptus, tea tree, allergies, peppermint, basil, eucalyptus, lemon, tea tree, pneumonia, oregano, thyme, clove, rosemary, rosewood, peppermint, coughs and cold, lemon, tea tree, peppermint, chamomile, oregano, etc., lavender also, breathing difficulties, eucalyptus, thyme, rosemary, chamomile, frankincense, lung cancer, thyme, clary sage, frankincense, lavender, myrrh, lemongrass, wheezing, eucalyptus, lavender, Roman chamomile, bergamot,